I know a person who grew up in an entirely assimilated family, who told me once very plainly that at some point when he was in his early 20s, perhaps, he heard a shiur of a certain Rav on the internet. And this Rav simply said, people have to know, if you're Mahalel Shabbat, you're Hayav Mita, in the most literal sense. And if there's no Bedin to carry it out right now, then Hashem will get you in some other way. And he said, and this person was Choser B'Tshuva. And he said to me, no, I'd never heard anybody in my life say that if I don't keep Shabbat, I'm Hayav Mita, that I should be put to death. Never heard such a thing. And this shook me up. And this is not a stupid or a stupid person, a simpleton, not at all. But sometimes people need to hear that kind of a statement to shock them, to wake them up. So one cannot completely denigrate and ridicule such a teaching, a person who makes such statements to a wider audience. You never know exactly who's going to hear what you're saying and what the outcome will be. But as I'm telling you, sometimes the outcome is positive. Positive, not ideal, perhaps. The person's motivation may not be the ideal motivation, at least not at first, but that's what we're discussing here. Having now been shocked into some kind of awareness, this person may begin to keep Torah or some of the Torah and will begin to study Torah, which I happen to know this person does now. And then, astam mitoch shelo lishma b'lishma. That's what we're discussing, and his motivation, his outlook, his understanding will change, hopefully. But some people are not that way. They always work simply because of it's not kedai. It's not worthwhile to take the risk, shall we say? So it's a kind of insurance policy. So that's how some people relate to the Torah, or for ulterior motives, which is again oved mira of a lower level. In other words, less reprehensible, but nevertheless not the ideal. So Rambam says, "En ovedet Hashem al derech zdo, ela amei haaretz v'hanoshim v'hachetanim." And this is also common amongst women and children, says Rambam, who usually were not very educated. Such people should be taught, says Rambam, to serve Hashem and to live according to the Torah. Mira. Not because this is ideal, but because with some people, this is a necessary first step along the path towards serving Hashem correctly and living with and acting based on a correct and healthy Torah outlook. So that's what I said before. We cannot completely, we cannot simply make light of such people who preach in such a fashion to the tzibur, to the public, and who give shirim on the internet that many people will see, and you never know exactly who and why. Someone will turn on and click onto that thing, and they'll hear this, and that may change their life. As I said, I've literally spoken to such people. But that's not ideal, but it's necessary sometimes. And it's a mistake, by the way, to think that should never be done. This is precisely the thing that this person said to me. That, I heard many other shiurim from all kinds of people, all kinds of rabbis, that were on a much, much higher level, but they never shook me up until I heard this Rav say that I was Hayav Mita, and that it's to be taken very seriously. and then everything else flowed from that and followed. But there is room for that, and an approach which is too highbrow, too intellectual, too spiritual, without putting the fear of the Lord, to quote the Christian expression, into the common people. This is not for everybody. It's for some people. It's for many people. It's not for everybody. So, and Rambam knew this. So he says this is necessary. And we, as I said, we know that in the time of Rambam and in Muslim society, particularly of that time, but in general, women were not educated as a rule, or that was the rule. There were exceptions. So there has to be that aspect in Hinuch, in Torah education, that has to be present as well, even though it's not the ideal.